Today we're going to be talking about some action that may affect Google's ability to target ads. Mike was very distressed about this, so stay tuned for today's not so typical update. Sorry.
So this didn't actually start with me being worried about the legislation that Peter mentioned that would limit targeting, surveillance, advertising, as they put it in the proposal. But I got this email today from Google saying that they are worried about my business because the Senate Judiciary Committee recently voted to move forward a bill that would have unintended consequences to businesses like mine. I read the email and then I clicked the Stay Informed button. And I registered to stay informed, got on their mailing list. And I assumed at some point they were going to tell me what legislation they were talking about, but they never did. So I'm still left wondering. I have some guesses. There are...
Could be anything, mate. Could be anything.
Well,
I mean...
There are two pieces of legislation kind of possible here. One is, and I can bring it back up on the screen.
The DSA,
right? Banning surveillance advertising act. So this would be, definitely would affect Google. Definitely would affect businesses who are doing targeted advertising, and it basically says that you can't target based on anything regarding protected class information or any information that you bought. So why even bother targeting at that point? So that's probably what they were talking about.
Would be huge.
It would be huge. I mean, it almost, I don't know what the details are. It almost sounds more sweeping even than GDPR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of surveillance and advertising and those
Yeah,
two
because they don't even talk about
together.
consent. They just say it's banned.
Right, exactly. That'd be huge.
Which
What
I
would
assume
Mark
Peter's
do?
all for.
Would he go to Congress and say we don't sell ads? How would Mark recover?
I don't know. I'm so
Would he threaten to pull Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp from America?
I'm so exhausted by this stuff at the moment.
Really? This is so exciting,
news.
Peter. I'd expect you to be excited.
It's amazing news, but it hasn't
Terrible news for
happened
Mike.
yet, isn't it?
Well,
hasn't it?
it's probably not going to
bad
happen
news for me.
because these are the largest conglomerates on earth, and they are shilling and
There'll be some
lobbying,
anything. There'll be some watered down version with a shit ton of loopholes in it, which they'll just get around and make some change to their terms and conditions. You check a fucking tick box that says, yeah, you can have all my data. Everybody go, yeah, fine, whatever, and nothing will change.
Right.
I think Biden might while sleeping might sign this. You never know.
So if that doesn't get you riled up, Peter, then let's take a look at the other option. So it wasn't totally clear what they were talking about. There were two that people kept mentioning because I went to Reddit and I searched for the subject of the email, and other people posted their screenshots of the same email. And it was really mixed. Some people saying, oh, yeah, they're talking about this Ban Surveillance Act. But other people said that they were talking about the Earn It Act, which has to do with Section 230, which is the code that allows social media platforms to be considered platforms and not publishers, and therefore not responsible for the content of their users. So this would mean that social media platforms are on the hook for anything their users post. And the reason this came up originally is because it had to do with like blog comments. If somebody left a comment, were you responsible as the site owner for the content of that comment? And the decision at the time was no.
Yeah. Because
of course, that's the individual.
Right, but this law would do away with that. The platforms would be responsible for the editorial content of their platforms.
Super dangerous.
It's crazy.
How would you moderate that?
Hey, was it the Democrats or the Republicans that put this forward, by the way?
Interestingly, it has broad bipartisan support as a widely unpopular bill.
This is
God. Okay. Oh, it's a broadly unpopular one. Okay, great.
Yeah, because I think they both understand.
Unpopular amongst the people, but the politicians don't give a fuck about that.
So the politicians are okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. Right. it's a massively dumb thing that has probably got a lot of money behind it. I imagine.
Which doesn't make any sense why it would have a lot of money behind it, because none of the largest tech companies that are social mediums, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn, how do you moderate something the size of your user pool?
How do you moderate something the size of a PHPBB forum? I mean, I've run it before, and it's just, you can't just go through and read every single.
No, you would need an army. You would need an army of people moderating. And then now, I think that the largest issue here is, I hate to say it because it feels almost like a buzzword at this point, is free speech. This would do away with free speech online.
But it gets worse. Because it also looks to, I don't know, ban, but weaken or discourage the use of encryption.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Earn It Act does.
Maybe that's the reason it's got support.
The biggest. Yes, exactly right. Isn't the Earn It Act also the one that has some crypto stuff in it as well?
I didn't see that.
Okay.
The other bit that's interesting about this Section 230 in particular is it was what Trump often cited as the reason why Twitter shouldn't be able to censor his content, even though the law says it doesn't have to. But if he got that his way on 230, then they would have likely taken his content down. Like, very circular, weird argument, but that's why this came up before recently.
Interesting. But I think if you break the terms of service of a service,
right.
like Twitter, then they're just going to ban you, because that's just how it is. Like, that's, and people were complaining that Trump or whoever got banned on Twitter, but it's like, that's a company. They can do that. Just like a ice cream shop can say, you know what, you, for no reason, you're not allowed. Yep. It'd be worse if they gave a reason, right? Because they could incriminate themselves.
Yeah.
Get out. Nope, I don't want your business. And they're allowed to do that because it's a privately owned business. America.
So freedom. These are the candidates, and the dilemma is, which of these do we think Google is more upset about? I mean, I guess really they 100. Would have cause to be upset over Earn It too. So it could be both of them.
Do you know what? Maybe it was very deliberate that they left out the name of the legislation. It was just like, hey, and then whichever one you kind of jump at, they're like, yeah, that's
Google wouldn't want.
Google
would. Let's just understand one thing. Google wouldn't want weekend encryption.
Why not? Right. Nor have to be responsible for moderating the content of their users, I'm sure.
Exactly. Does that mean they have to moderate every single email sent?
Actually, I'm genuinely curious why this has got such support in the government.
Yeah, well, I think I know why. Because if weekend encryption is coupled in there, then there's the answer right there. Government agencies would love a backdoor to encryption, even though they don't even understand what they're asking for.
What you just said, John, is interesting, though. What about email? If I am an email platform provider,
sure,
you could kind of make the same argument, right? Your service has been used to send this content. I wonder how far they would go with that.
Moderate emails? Doesn't mean so now, and it's safe to assume that every email you send on a hosted Gmail or Zoho or Outlook or any of them, I think it's safe of us to assume that those are being not read actively, but passively automated.
Sure.
Mate, it doesn't matter on a hosted solution or anything. Anything in transit is going through SMTP servers, and it's all being sucked up by the NSA. This is like decades ago that it was revealed that this was happening. I forget all the code names that was released at the time, but
back then.
Yeah, and it was all this big hoo-ha about it, and then it's just nothing happened really, and it's all probably still just being developed and used. If it goes through an SMTP server, then NSA, and it's going to go through multiple. Have you ever looked at the headers of an email? There's tons of servers in there. All it needs is one of those companies to have give access to someone, and probably multiple do. So passively, it's all being sucked up. Yeah, and especially the metadata, all the headers and everything.
Bottom line is the Earn It Act is probably bad for everyone except for the NSA. The new privacy bill, ban surveillance advertising act, is bad for everyone except for people who care about privacy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, totally.
That's the framing I'm going with.
Okay. something happened this week, and it's bummed me out about the whole privacy thing. I don't know if I should talk about it now or not, because we've already been talking for a little while. Maybe I'll bring it up another second.
Have at it. I'm still trying to figure out why you're not more upset. Like, if we can't get you riled up, why do we even do this show?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I genuinely don't know. It is kind of. I really should just be raging, but I can't.
Should it be?
I can't summon the anger
just
today.
You two against me instead of us two against Mike. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
You're gonna switch sides and head over
Peter
to.
feels like dead weight today. I'm like, useless to be in a fight.
Peter's not in it. His heart isn't in it.
I'm so sorry.
Go work on marketing or something. Okay.
God, this is terrible.
What happened this weekend? You want a chance for that, or we're moving on?
It was in the last couple of days. It's all to do with analytics and servers and companies that I trust. And this, I have to take a stand on what I call a tracker, and it's just exhausting.
We saw this on Twitter. I'm lazy. PGL on Twitter. And we should do a separate segment on this. So this is related to your war with Brave.
Yeah.
See,
that's fake news.
No,
Peter's declared war on Brave, a service that he claims to like.
I'll tell you about this later.
Okay, we'll do another segment. Did I say too much? Did we? Check out Peter's Twitter at PGL. You'll see what we're talking about. And when you do that, before you go do that, click like on this video, then go check out Peter's Twitter, then come back and watch another segment here.
That was too long. But okay.
Wait. What the fuck? How did I miss this? What's going on with your Twitter?
It's not a big deal. I mean, it turns out it is a big deal that I have caused a lot of shit behind the scenes, which I was told about. There's a privacy. Yes, by a Brave employee.
That you're causing them heartache.
Yes. Like,
why? Because you're not selectively because you're not favoriting.
No, I am favoriting at the moment, and someone submitted a domain to me, which is I don't know we're recording, so please don't actually post this. Someone submitted
we are recording. Do you want me to stop it?
No, it's fine. Just don't.
Okay.
Well,
no, off the record.
Please don't.
I'll just stop the recording, so I'm not tempted.
I've already said the Brave